Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm currently in the process of drawing something very special. If I zoom out a little bit, in a second you'll see that it is the hug that has developed between Bruins goaltenders Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. So that's something pretty cool. There's the reference picture. Today I'm just going to be telling some random stories, whatever comes to mind. So I'm going to start with something that happened when I was 7 years old. My family and I went down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to visit my uncle who lives down there. And we were on the beach. And I don't know how I ever got into gifted, because I was such an idiot when I was a kid. I still am an idiot, but I was especially an idiot when I was little. So my dad was like, "Go get mom, she's right there," and he pointed like in a vague direction. And I didn't realize she was right behind us. So I legit just started walking, and my dad fell asleep, and I started walking like left, I don't know what direction I was walking in, but I was not walking backwards. And I was just like walking along the beach, and I said hi to some people. They were real nice to me. They're usually nice to kids, except for like some certain people. And eventually, I don't know how far I walked, man. It seemed like 3 miles. I don't know how long it was, seriously. But eventually, I had a police officer that came and drove me back. Oh my god, that police car was so nice. It was like air conditioned. Excuse me. Um, I'll censor that. But it was a real nice car and real nice police officer. And he took me back to my family. They were freaking out. They were like, "Why did you walk off?" I was like, "Dad said you were over there." And like I pointed where I walked, and my dad's like, "No, she was behind you." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I don't know if they told me something, and I don't know if they told me this to scare me or to convince me not to run off again. But they literally told me that somebody was trying to buy me for like $10,000, which is like, what kind of price is that for a human kid? I'm sorry, that is not a question that anybody should be asking. It would be concerning if any of the commenters, if anybody comments on this video had an answer, then I'm worried for you. But anyway, they told me that somebody wanted to buy me, and my uncle said no. So that was, I mean, I never ran off again, I guess. I guess another story I could get into is in 7th grade, I was taking Spanish, and I since switched to French. I'm going to France actually in 2 days with my class. But I was taking Spanish in 7th grade. That's the last year I took it. And this was advanced Spanish, so we were expected to speak Spanish the whole time. So, our teacher, and he was the best. He was actually the best. I'm just going to call him Francisco. And, Francisco gave us like a tarjeta roja, a red card, like in soccer when you get ejected, every time we spoke English in class. And like, sometimes it happened accidentally. Like, I would speak English, like, excuse me for wanting to speak my native language. I understand it's a Spanish class, but like, sometimes it's tough. And speaking another language is tough. But anyway, I kept getting the red card, and eventually I had it with that stuff, and I just like threw this thing on the ground and was like, no. And like, I am not getting the tarjeta roja anymore. So Francisco was like, oh, okay. And I still got the red card, but I after I left that class, I became kind of infamous. Like, it's been almost 4 years, I guess. I'm going in to 11th grade, and people are still talking about it. I'm like, guys, that was a long time ago. Look, I'm obviously a 16-year-old is much more mature than a 12-year-old. Like, you gotta understand that. But that was that was the Tarjeta Roja. I'm trying to think of another story. Oh, I don't know if anybody watched my last video about drawing. It was in like 2018. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I talked about my weird obsessions, and since then I developed a new one. Actually, it might have been like ongoing when that video was filmed, but I didn't talk about it. But I was obsessed with terrorist attacks like 9/11 and Oh my god, I have to censor this video. I'm sorry. I was obsessed with 9/11 and other various terrorist attacks around America. So I was like, every time there was even a minor like shooting or attack, there was like 2 people that got shot this one time. And I was like, oh my god, it's the end of the world. And I like counted how many days it was since America got attacked. And like I was like, oh no, how dreadful America has been. I was trying to sound all fancy, like it was like a war or something. Like I don't know. It ended pretty quickly, I think. I think it ended fairly quickly, but it was I still have my diary from back then because I don't write in my diary a lot, and oh, it's bad. Like I look back on that part of my life and it's like it I had this diary when I was in 6th grade, so some of the stuff in there is about boats and stuff, which I haven't been obsessed with in like a year. Um, I guess another thing to talk about would be my extracurriculars. Now I don't do sports, and I love sports. I love hockey, and the Habs specifically, even though they suck this year. But anyway, I don't do sports, but I did join my school's robotics team. Basically they said you don't need any coding experience, but I think you kind of did because I was very confused by like the code. It was very complicated, I feel like. So, you know, I still join the team though, and I go to like meetings maybe twice a week. And it's honestly really fun for me. I think I found something I like, but I really am sticking to the media team because I think earlier I did mention I'm an idiot, so I don't understand like any of the building aspects or programming aspects or anything like that. So I joined the media team, and I'm sad because my business partner graduated this year, so I'm not gonna be seeing him anymore. But I am on media, and I'm the media captain, so suck that, everybody. Um, but yeah, I basically post pictures, post Instagram stories, and post on Twitter about, you know, how the team's doing, where we're going, how the robot's coming along, and then, you know, the kickoffs in January, so we get our our game plan. And basically, we had to design a robot, or well, they did. I didn't do anything. I almost cursed again, but you know, I definitely was posting about it, taking pictures and everything. And our competitions were in March, and there was one in April. And oh my god, I have never been in a competition before because the season was online last year because of the pandemic. But oh man, I had to wake up at like 3:45 in the morning, something like that, because we had to be there by like 8, and it was in New Jersey. Just like, why put anything in New Jersey? But it was honestly really fun. Like I just kind of hung around with the team in the stands, cheered them on, and it was actually really interesting to watch the competition. Unfortunately, we didn't go to Worlds in Houston, or I think it was in Houston. But it was real fun, and I'm gonna keep doing that. I think I really found something I enjoy. You know, posting and cheering and just kind of being on the sidelines, but it's still really fun. I still consider myself part of the team. But yeah, it was definitely real fun to be part of that, and I'm looking forward to it next year. Other school stuff. I'm gonna be taking anatomy and physiology this year. Oh my god, I hate math. You know, I think science is always, especially medicine, has always been one of my biggest interests. But I loathe like math, anything math with a passion. I hate math. And I'm real excited for anatomy and physiology, but I'm really hoping it's less math than chemistry. I actually hated, well, I don't know, chemistry was fun because we got to like do stuff with chemicals and all that gorgeous things, and my teacher was a Penguins fan, so that's cool. But it was so much math. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the mole, but that's the mole is something that it's like a number and measures like molecules or atoms or whatever of a certain a certain element. It's like, oh my god, who cares? Literally, who cares? Oh, speaking of who cares, my dad's thing has become nobody cares. Like, he always shares, like, the weirdest facts. Like, nobody cares about them. And, my mom one time was sharing a fact, and she just went, nobody cares. And it kind of became a thing. So he does tours for us when we're on vacation. Like, he writes out places to go and facts about the places. And we're just like, we call him Nobody Cares Tours because literally he's such an old man. Like, nobody cares. But, that's all the stories I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoy my drawing of Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark being the best of friends and hugging. And I hope you guys have seen that video of them hugging. If not, look it up. I'll spell their names out in the description. I think it's really awesome. You should definitely watch it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye for now.